Hey guys, it's Danny. Today it is time to take a look in the pot of this orchid. If you don't remember who this is, it's from our first orchid haul watch. I repotted it then and I said that we will come back to it in a month or so just to remove the roots that didn't make the transition because I suspected there will be a lot of roots. Well, it's been a little more than 1 month. I didn't feel so good during the summer. There are many things I didn't do because I wasn't capable of. This is one of them, but you know what? It's not too late. It's been about 2 months. The new roots are not that big, so we can go back, remove the roots that didn't make it so they don't spoil the medium, and just give this orchid the best chance we can at a great life. So we're gonna do that today. And before we start, don't forget to give this video a like if you end up enjoying it, and why not subscribe? I post multiple times a week and it's completely free. But if you're feeling extra about it, do consider further supporting the channel by becoming a member, checking out the affiliate links down below. I know this by heart now, but sometimes, you know, I'm just getting back from vacation, so I need to get into the rhythm of things. Right, so yeah, checking out the merch, checking out the affiliate links, becoming a member, or using the super thanks option below my videos. Right, so let's get to it closer and yeah, see what we need to cut away. I suspect we have a lot of roots that need removal. Will I be correct? So yeah, you guys, there have been many things that were paused this summer because it was too hot for me to function. The aquariums and all of that, I paused them. That's why I didn't post anything on the aquarium channel, but I will because I started to do some things. But yeah, funnily enough, when you're dealing with the hottest year on record and you have low blood pressure, you're gonna suffer. And it's so hard to explain to people how just out of power and just tired you feel constantly. Yeah, will not be sorry to see the summer go away. Look at that, you guys. We have brand new roots. So we are definitely going to keep the medium because it's pretty new, but look at that. I already see roots just coming off from the velamen. So all of these things I foreseen that they would not make it. We're just gonna have to clean up everything that died, and I'm going to reuse pretty much everything. And because we're using sphagnum moss, we're not actually going to disturb the root system way too much because moss doesn't attach much to the roots. And whatever portion is attached, well, seems to be attached, it's not really attached, I'm just going to let it be. I just need to clear up enough space so that I see what I'm doing. And yeah, most of these all of them actually, they are done. They're not alive anymore. So I'm going to have to cut all of them as I suspected. But there are a few that did survive. This one has a little bit of a growing point there. This one made it. So that's what I do with all of these orchids that seem to have a lot of roots. When I repot them, the more roots you have, the more roots you're gonna lose pretty much. I kind of don't like orchids with too many roots, to be honest. That sounds bad, but it's true. I'm being honest. So I like roots with a moderate amount of roots. I like orchids with a moderate amount of roots that will not necessitate me to repot after a month and cut away everything that didn't make it. And you can see how many roots I need to cut away. All of these are done. Oh, if I remember correctly, this was the orchid that was potted in that cocoa husk, literally. The roots got a little bit or a lot of bruising during that repot. Okay, let's look on this side. This root is dead. Some of them might sound alive, but they're absolutely not. It's just the thick root, the string inside. Or maybe if they're still slightly fleshy, although this isn't. And you notice the sound it made? No, it's absolutely gone. It's just this root that makes the sound. So even if they are very slightly fleshy, they're not gonna make it. I'm not keeping them. I have brand new roots on the way. Now, if I were to repot this orchid from moss to moss, I have a suspicion that I would not have to deal with so many dead roots because moss is very gentle on the roots. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how my older orchids will do when I repot them from moss. I have some orchids that are already growing outside of their pot. It was my mistake, I didn't position them correctly in the pot, so I need to rearrange them a little bit or put them in a bigger pot without necessarily changing the moss because it's fresh. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how that will go and if the orchids will feel like they moved. I suspect not. Righty. So I think this is about it. This is what I'm gonna keep on the orchid. Everything else looks okay, and even if it doesn't make it, it's not a whole lot of roots. It's not a fistful of roots. So even if they don't make it, they will not spoil my medium. So let's go ahead and put everything back. I'm gonna double check if I have any dead roots that I left inside the medium. I don't think so. Gonna use the same sphagnum moss and just pot up my orchid. This orchid, you know what it would need? I'm not gonna do this now, but maybe in a year's time, I would definitely divide it and keep one of the divisions. Should I divide it this year? See, I have an idea now. Do I have enough roots everywhere? I actually do. You know what I'm gonna divide now? Half of it is going to my mom. My mom will visit soon. I already have quite a few orchids to give her. She loves cattleyas. They do so well for her. I'm gonna give her this cattleya too. Alrighty, so the division point is right here. It was a little bit tricky to see it, but I did see it. So I'm gonna go to the rhizome. There we go. And I made two lovely divisions. I'm gonna keep the smaller one because, I don't know, I want her to have the better division. Right, so I'm gonna put this actually in a smaller pot. I'm gonna put back this orchid in the initial pot. That will go to my mom, and I'll put mine in a smaller pot. Oh yeah, do you see we have much more space? It makes more sense now. Sometimes I do like to divide orchids just to, I don't know, make them grow in a more pleasing way. Not all orchids should be specimens, or I'm not looking for specimens with all orchids because I don't have a big enough room for all of them. So I keep most of my orchids at a more, let's say, friendly size, friendly to my room here. So I don't need it to be like super bushy. So this division is absolutely fine for me. It is mature and I don't need to have big orchids. I prefer tinier orchids. The tinier, the better, actually. Less space consuming. I think I'm gonna need more bark. How am I needing more bark? I don't know how, but I am. Bamboo skewer, just to stabilize it better. Make another tag for it. Oh, it's a beautiful orchid. It's the fancy worm welcome. All right, so I'm done with this one. And I need a smaller pot for mine. This is more than adequate. And my sphagnum moss is dry and I'm too lazy to wet it. Gonna have to deal with it like this. I usually prefer to dampen my sphagnum moss, but when I cannot be bothered to do that, I work with it dry and suffer the consequences. It's very annoying, but it's okay. With a dry sphagnum moss, you can actually press on it because it's not gonna compact. It's gonna bounce right back. It's just not as obedient as dampened moss, but it's fine. All right, let's put a bamboo skewer, one or two, to stabilize it. Now let's add some bark as a top layer and we are done. And I think this approach is more advantageous to me. I need to conserve space and my mom will be very happy to have yet another orchid to her collection. This will need watering because the sphagnum moss is dry, so I will water it after I'm done to keep those roots growing. Alrighty, I'm gonna do something I shouldn't. rePotme, don't look. All Alrighty, so we are done. I'm gonna put it in a pretty decorative pot. I'll clean out my table and we're gonna do the outro. Alrighty, so we are done. I wasn't expecting to make a division, but honestly, I don't need super huge orchids. I need space is what I need. I need a bigger room. I need a house. Anyway, I need a lot of things. I need a winter. But definitely one thing I don't need is a lot of big orchids. So if you didn't know, you could actually keep your orchid collection within a manageable size. You can definitely do that by removing the older part of the orchid or divisions. So what we did today is a division, but what you can do is remove old portions of the orchid, even if they don't have growth points. And I have a video on that titled exactly that, how I keep my orchid collection small without actually giving up any orchids. And I've been doing this for a lot of years. It works out great for me. So if you're struggling with space, maybe check that video out. But yeah, this will be my division and this will be my mom's division. None of them have buds or flower spikes, so we're not gonna see a flower anytime soon, but I'm hoping that it will do good. This is the orchid that I had in the past and I struggled to save it. It arrived sick, or soon after all the pseudobulbs got rotten. I tried to save it for a lot of years. It didn't work out. It's not a vigorous hybrid, I see, which is sad because it's a beautiful orchid, but I do have new roots. It looks great, so it's gonna be much better this time around. At least I have some pseudobulbs to work with. But yeah, that is about it for today. I'll be sure to add this video to the playlist of our Orchid Haul Watch Season 1 from Schroeder. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. This was the little update on the kind of sickly orchid. If you missed the previous videos, check the pinned comment in this video or below this video. You'll see the initial haul video and also some of the repottings. I repotted this orchid just so you see why the roots were in such poor condition, if you were wondering. So you have everything in that playlist. Just check the description or pinned comment. So with that said, I thank you so much for joining and hanging with me today, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.